3 years ago, I had a golden retriever named Max. He was more than a dog, he was my companion, my shadow, my best friend. The kind of friend that follows you into every room, sits patiently at your feet while you work, and somehow seems to know exactly when you need comfort. Max died suddenly. He had been fine one day, and the next, he was gone. The vet couldn't explain it, just said it was sudden, probably a heart problem. I buried him in the backyard myself, marking his grave with a simple stone that read, "Max forever my friend." I cried for hours, and then for weeks, I avoided the backyard. It was just too painful to look at the spot where he used to lie, wagging his tail in the sun. For the next 3 years, life went on. I moved into a new apartment, made new routines, and slowly, the grief faded into a dull ache, like a background hum I barely noticed. I thought I had put Max behind me. Until last night. I woke up at 2 a.m. to a scratching sound at the back door. At first, I thought it was a raccoon or a stray cat. But the sound continued, and it was heavier, more deliberate, like claws on wood. I got out of bed, my heart pounding, and peered through the window. And there he was. Max older. His fur darker, matted, somehow wet and tangled as if he'd been through a storm. But it was him, every familiar feature intact, every expression I remembered. He stared at me through the glass, tail wagging slowly, but his eyes, they were different. There was an intensity in his gaze that I had never seen before, something that felt almost human. I opened the door. Max ran past me, across the living room, into the kitchen. I followed him, calling his name, and that's when I noticed it. The smell. It was wrong. Not Max's usual scent, not the smell of wet fur or dog shampoo. It was metallic, coppery, like blood mixed with soil. I reached out to touch him, and he flinched, not away from me, but away from something behind me. I turned. Nothing. Just the dark hallway, empty and silent. I knelt beside him. "Max? Buddy?" I whispered. He licked my hand once, then ran toward the backyard. I hesitated, then followed. The backyard was empty. The grave. Max's grave. The dirt had been disturbed. Completely turned over, as if something had clawed its way out. And the hole, empty. There was no sign of Max anywhere. I ran inside, heart hammering, and that's when I realized the scratching had followed me. It was in the kitchen, in the living room, upstairs in the hall. Everywhere. It was rhythmic, slow, deliberate. And then I heard it. A low growl. Not Max's growl, not any normal dog's growl. It was guttural, like it came from a creature trying to imitate him. I froze. Max, or something, was standing at the back door. But his head was tilted unnaturally, eyes glinting in the dim light. I swear I saw the shape of human teeth glinting between his lips, and then, just for a second, the shape of human hands, as if the dog I loved had become something else. I ran to the phone to call someone, anyone. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely dial. When I looked up, Max was gone. No scratching, no growl, no familiar golden shape. Just silence. I searched the yard. The neighborhood. Nothing. I thought I was hallucinating. I convinced myself I was dreaming. And then, hours later, I found a patch of dirt in the yard, freshly dug, perfectly shaped like a grave, but empty. And at the edge, paw prints that looked too large, too human, leading away into the darkness. I haven't slept since. I hear scratching again. Sometimes at the window. Sometimes at the door. And sometimes, late at night, I swear I hear Max's bark. But it's wrong. It's hollow. It's coming from inside the house. I've tried to convince myself it's just grief, or stress, or the city playing tricks on me. But last night, I woke up to the sound of claws on my bedroom floor. I turned on the light. Max was standing at the foot of my bed, staring. But his body wasn't like I remembered. Limbs too long. Neck stretched just slightly too far. And those eyes were not Max's anymore. I screamed. He barked. Or something barked. I don't know anymore. I can't leave. The moment I step outside, I feel like he, or it, follows me. I haven't eaten properly. I haven't slept. And every night, the scratching returns, louder, closer, more deliberate. I buried him. I thought it was over. But now, Max isn't gone. And whatever he's become, it's waiting.